Welcome everybody to the first race of the RFA Championship. We're about to get started here with race number 1 at Maple Valley. Drivers are competing here to win a copy of the brand new Forza Motorsport coming in October. First place will receive the Premium Edition, second place will receive the Deluxe Edition, and third place will receive the regular edition, but an actual copy of it. A digital copy of it. Participants to receive these awards must be located in the United States, must be residents of the United States to accept them. This race is a charity championship, and all proceeds, donations, revenue from advertisements will be going directly to the ALS Association. This race is to help fight and raise funds and raise awareness for the ALS Association. Alright, with that being said, let's get things started here. If everybody's ready to go, I'll get the go-ahead and we'll get things started. Oh my goodness. I was muted the whole time. Well, that was a fail on broadcasting levels. I will I will have to overwrite that afterwards. I'll do some editing magic to fix that. But welcome back everyone. Here's qualifying for the RFA race number 1, Race for ALS Championship. We're on board with Larry B the G. So rounding out the first hot lap. This first hot lap, well, it's really a warm-up lap for the tires and the car and the driver to get used to the track. As we're here at the beautiful Maple Valley, it's a very mountainous, fast-flowing circuit. It's great for these little Lotuses that love to be thrown around the track. We'll have to see who's able to put it on pole for the first race, as Larry has already made a good gap from the rest of the grid so far. Larry puts in a 41 on the opening lap is not half bad. But Sunshine with a 01.39.5 takes provisional pole on the opening lap so far. Fastest speed of the session so far has been 156 miles an hour. Top on with Relampago, new to NBR. See, they were a late sign up, so the blank car is excusable for the first race. See how this qualifying goes out. It's a 50-minute qualifier, so they can get a good amount of laps in with a minute 40 average lap. I guess a minute 40 is kind of on the higher end. The fast guys are probably going to get it down to a minute 36 on average, maybe 37, while the upper range might be in the 146s, I'm guessing. So we see the grid dispersing out into 3 groups so far. Are we missing a driver? I feel like we might be missing somebody. Oh well. We'll figure that out after. Maybe the G still holding the fastest top speed of the session so far, 156 miles an hour. You see these little Lotuses floating over these corners. Pago really throwing this car in around the S's and down the hill into the final corner, which is a really tricky corner. It's a really fast, sharp corner. These cars are able to hold it. As you can see, the suspension compressing there. It comes across the line. Relampago takes second place with a... I gotta wait for it to go back around. I didn't see the time. With a 01.39.75. I'm guessing it was clean. Well, Larry said an 01.39.290. Oh, getting a little bit squirrely. What a beautiful drift there from Relampago. On board with our provisional pole leader with a 1 minute 37.022. A very good lap from Sunshine to stick himself on pole for the first race of the RFA Championship. Let's hop back to the mid-pack. So it looks like we might have a pretty close, really close battle. Mailman, yes, Relampago is missing the number board and number. I gave him a pass. He's just going to get a warning for the first race because he was a late sign-up. Here we go. We can see, who is this? Ultra Prime and Erostefenek. I might be butchering that name. If I am, I apologize. Whoa! Ultra Prime running wide there. And it looks like they have a little duel going on in the back of the pack here. These two look to be very close on pace as they're going up the left-hander, up the hill. Ooh, Ultra Prime getting a little bit loose there coming up the hill. And now up the right-hander. This is a very tricky section of the track. And no shuffling. Larry B the G into the pits. I'm curious if Larry has damage to the car. Possibly a misshift or something along those sorts. Not many... Ooh, Ultra Prime getting a little... I think he may have dirtied that lap there, unfortunately, there. Getting a little bit... it's really easy to cut that little piece of grass. During the race, that will probably be excusable, but unfortunately there, that was a little rough. Whoa, Ultra Prime getting really wide, getting a little drift. That was beautiful. Beautifully held. I thought he was going to lose it there. Got back on board with 5th place now. Well, so far. With typical racer 09, as we see Larry B the G in the Yellow Lotus there. Typical racer and Erostefenek, very close on time so far, as we can see the ticker there. Pago slowing down with an 0140 there. Typical racer with an 0146. That lap, I'm guessing they made a mistake, because that seems very slow. Or Eros made a mistake. The Eros with a 41 last lap. Sunshine knocking almost 3/10 off of that pole position lap with a 01.36.746. A great lap. Absolutely astonishing lap from Sunshine. See Eros being followed by Larry here. Larry taking 3rd so far. Oh, Eros getting a little squirrely, but holds it up the right-hander here. Beautiful number 9. See just the slight difference in line, but how much pace difference Larry's able to squeeze. I'm guessing it might be a difference in setup. Also, note, if you can see the cars, the front headlights come on when they brake. Ooh, so, oh my goodness, huge wreck, unfortunately, from Typical Racer. It looks like he just lost it. I looked away and didn't see what happened there. That's going to be a huge wall impact, and I'm sure there's going to be damage there, unfortunately. Just pushing a little too hard. Luckily, this is just qualifying, and he can come back in the race. I believe there's still a good bit of time left in the session. Larry B the G drops down to 4th. Arrow sets an 01.4758. I'm guessing Larry hasn't been able to set a clean lap so far in this session. Larry is pushed out of the top 3, but I'm guessing he's not far off. Relampago slowing down that last lap. I think he was in 2 minutes. I'm guessing he's just taking cool-down laps. He's in a solid 2nd place right now, next to Sunshine. It's been a great qualifying effort across the board. It's been real close, actually. Arrows being new to NBR, we have no clue what to expect from them. They're setting pretty good times in practice from what I saw. But now we'll see if he's able to put the flame to Larry here. I saw smoke in the background. I'm curious if that was Arrows getting a little loose. Qualifying isn't everything, you know. Qualifying is just setting you where you're going to start. If you're going to start in a good position, you might have a little bit of an advantage. Oh, Arrow's getting a little slidey back there. A little bit of an advantage going into the first few laps, but you make a mistake in the first few laps, you're down the order. Arrow's cutting off more time from their last lap. We'll see what Larry's able to do here. Is Larry going to be able to set a clean lap? Beautifully held through there. And across the line. Oh, Larry losing it on the front straight. Larry all over the place this qualifying session, unfortunately. Into the pits. Does he have damage from that? Luckily, no, he does not have damage. What a turn of events from Larry there. Larry has been a very high placing individual at NBR. Has always been pretty high up there. Always in the top 5 at least. Very well-known driver in the Forza community as well. Seems to be struggling this race. I don't know. Maybe it's the short wheelbase of the car. That's been catching me up a good bit when I was practicing in these cars. But I'm back with Arrows, who seems to be holding 3rd place so far. Unable to improve in that last lap. Almost 2 seconds down. Not back on a typical racer who seems to be in the pit. Oh no, he binned it on the last corner just like Larry did. Sunshine was telling me before the race that he was going to be worried about binning it in the final corner. It's really easy to do. These cars, if you're pushing it too hard, it's real easy to send it in. Hop on with Ultra Prime. Who has a damaged car. It looks like he may have accidentally crashed it in qualifying. Luckily, it's just qualifying. You can push it. This isn't like real life where if you crash a car in qualifying, you're screwed for the race. You can push it a lot more in Forza in qualifying, because you can afford to wreck your car. But in the race, you're going to have to see... Ooh, I'm guessing he has some steering and suspension damage there. Hop on board with Provisional Pole, who set an even faster lap, knocking just 2/10 off that last lap with an 01:36.646, an incredibly quick time from Sunshine here. We may have a lower attendance for this race, but that doesn't mean Sunshine's going to be able to walk away with this championship. It's only the first race. And don't get me wrong, he's probably not the only one who wants a copy of the Premium Edition of Motorsport. No, somebody else is off back there. I think it was Typical Racer again. It's unfortunately dealing with that oversteer this car that tends to have out of corners. You know, you're pushing it too hard. It is very easy to do, especially on this track. Running sim steering can also have a pretty negative effect. Beautifully held through there. We'll see if Sunshine's able to improve. He's able to knock off another 2/10 almost. He's about 5/10 away from setting a solid 36. I'm guessing the 35s are definitely possible in this car, but I don't know if Sunshine's going to be able to squeeze out those extra 5/10 on this track. I'm back aboard with Eros and Larry. Eros still holding 3rd position. Larry struggling to get in the top 3. Beautiful live. Oh my goodness! Huge wreck! Oh my goodness, that's what's going to happen here at Maple Valley. Luckily, he just managed to crash at the pit entrance, so he's able to drive back in without having to go around. That's what happens when you push it at Maple Valley. You hit that inside wall and you're a goner. There's nothing you can do. Hopefully we're getting out all of our crashes before the race, so that we don't have to deal with pig wrecks during the race. Back on board with Relampago. Doesn't seem to be able to get it close enough to Sunshine. He's been setting really slow laps for the past few laps. I'm curious if he has damage. He was set a really good lap early on and is unable to improve, it seems. Might just not be pushing it. Sees all the other cars wrecking around him in quali and doesn't want to push it. I don't blame him. Relampago on the run towards Larry B the G now. See how Relampago is able to just set up this car for the next corner. He sticks that nose in and lets the car run. Oh, Larry running real wide. I think he's going to get caught up in the tire barriers there. Ooh, Relampago losing it in the first corner. Was that due to qualifying ending? Or no, it was not. I don't have the timer up here. But Relampago is going to lose it there in the first corner as we go on back on board with the two who have been really close. Typical and Ultra Prime. See a little race happening here. Ultra Prime getting a little wide, cutting the track there. It is only qualifying, so you can't get penalized for cutting. Up the hill they go, fast left-hander into a fast right-hander, which tightens. It's really tricky to put the car where you want it to be, because especially as you crest the hill here, as you see, typical racers going to suffer from that understeer, and qualifying is over. That is qualifying done with, and we're getting on to the race very shortly. We'll get the qualifying results in a moment. I'll read them out once we get them available. Holy shit, 391 miles an hour? How did I get that reading? I think my game crashed. Well, froze. Anywho, we'll get the qualifying results in real quick. On pole, secured it with an incredible drive of an 01.36.245. I didn't see that towards the end. And he is so close to getting into the 35s. Incredible drive from LL Mr. Sunshine. Followed up second on the first row is Relampago with a 01.38.152, rounding out the first row. Second, starting in third, starting the second row is Eros Stefanek with an 01.40.758. Starting next Eros is Larry B. the G with an 01.41.216. Starting in fifth is... Am I missing someone? No, I'm just reading it wrong. It's Typical Racer with an 01.45.866. And rounding out the grid is Ultra Prime with an 01.46791. Stay tuned with us while we get the grid set up, and we'll be right back. Alright, we're getting started here. We've got 6 drivers on the grid and a safety car for the first race. Hopefully we'll see some more drivers show up later on in the championship, but we'll have to wait and see for that. This is a grid start, so once the lights go out, everyone's good to go, and we'll be starting for race number 1 of the RFA. Whoops. Hold on, we're going to restart because I accidentally loaded myself in. And here we go, we are off on board with Sunshine as we barrel down to turn 1. Sunshine leading the pack into turn 1. Up on board with Larry B. the G, who's made it up to third place now. Now passing Aero Definek into turn 1 off the start. He had a really good start. Followed there close behind. Relampago now, oh, Typical Racer off into the gravel trap there. Larry B. the G on the attack, and Relampago up the hill, going over the bumps. Is a very sketchy spot to be able to pass. He looks like he might back off. He's trying to go put the pressure on as we go under the bridge here, or into another fast, sweeping left-hander here. The top 3 are super close now. Larry on the back of Relampago. Larry showing this pace that he was losing in qualifying here, as the back 2 seems we have an incident in the rear there. Looks like Ultra Prime has hit the wall, unfortunately. We got back on board with our top 4, or as Eros is really close here. Larry B. the G putting on the pressure to Relampago as they're going up the fast left-hander, or that switches over to a right-hander, and Larry's going to go to the inside. He's going to try and contest Relampago on the inside. He's going to stick. It's really hard to keep a move here, but he's going to hold it. He's going to push Relampago wide here. He's going to slow them both down as they're not going to get the ideal line. Sunshine's going to be able to pull away a little bit. Larry's going to get the position just barely. It's not secured yet as Relampago's still there. So he's going to have to cut the grass there on the inside, and Larry's BG is going to come into second place. Relampago still hot on his tail within half a second. What a great move. That was very clean from both drivers going through that very technical section. So coming down the hill, everyone coming through clean so far. Arrow's falling back from Relampago a little bit, so we'll hop on with Relampago here. And when Sunshine getting a little bit into the grass there, Sunshine looks to be getting under a little pressure from Larry. Larry's a little bit far behind, but could get closer. Interesting first lap there. We had an incident in the back. Ultra Prime and Typical Racer, unfortunately, suffering a small incident. Luckily, it's still early on in the race. Relampago seems to be backing off a little bit from Larry B. the G. We'll hop back on Larry B. the G, who seems to have contesting first position now. About a second or give between Sunshine and Larry to see how this plays out. If we go on 25 laps, this is a long race around Maple Valley here. Very technical circuit. A lot can happen. It's like Ultra Prime is unfortunately having some more technical issues back there. Oh, who do I hop on with? Hop on with Relampago. Eros is struggling a little bit. Didn't seem to have as close a pace. They're not far off from Relampago. Actually, they're catching the Relampago quite quickly. Relampago seems to have pretty good one-lap pace here. Oh, Eros with an incident. What happened to Eros? I think they may have spun coming up the hill, unfortunately. Let's see if they have any damage from that. Luckily, they come escape-free, just lost a good bit of time to the top runners. As we hop on board Larry, who is within half a second of Sunshine as they're coming down the hill into the fast right-hander. This is a big corner. Big things can happen here. And Larry has the run within a second, within a tenth, as he's diving to the inside into turn one. He's going to have to push Sunshine wide there. This is a very long corner. Who's going to get the run out into the next bit? Is it left-hander, so Sunshine might have the inside. They are side by side. Larry the G has the edge now. Sunshine might be able to get him back here on the inside. No, Sunshine's going to... no, not going to give up the position. Still contesting, but as far back. Larry G's going to have to slow down a little bit. It's still side by side, neck and neck, as now they're going up the hill. What a great race, and it looks like Sunshine's going to succeed now. Larry the G has first position. He looked to be struggling in qualifying, but look at him now. He's battling for the lead with Sunshine. Going down into the fast, sweeping left-hander. It's a really difficult corner to get right. Get fast. Sunshine's going to be on the attack as we hear these roaring Lotuses drive by the camera there. Sunshine a little bit on the inside there. Relampago not far behind. If they keep battling, though, Relampago's going to be able to catch up to them. These two are in a league of their own right now. They're coming up the fast sweeping left-hander, up another fast sweeping right-hander. Sunshine within 3/10 of Larry coming up the hill now. And 4/10. He's going to get a better exit here. Looks like he does. Ooh, Sunshine getting a little cut there, and Larry gets a little loose. That's going to cost Larry a good bit of time here, as Sunshine's now on the attack. Coming down the hill, Larry gets wide, and Sunshine breezes past, but Sunshine's not going to have the ideal line coming through the final corner. He's going to have to slow up, and Larry's going to have the advantage coming down the hill, and Larry seems to have to slam on the brakes, but they're still neck and neck within a tenth of a second as they come down into the first corner. So they're going to dive for it. Larry's going to slot in behind. Larry's still 2/10 behind, right on the bumper to Sunshine. This has been neck and neck this whole race so far. What an incredible few laps for the leaders here. Every point matters in this championship, as every point could bring you closer to winning a copy of the Premium Edition Forza Motorsport coming out in October. Top 20 placing drivers will receive a unique livery that is only accessible to a certain set amount of drivers. The 20 that will participate will receive this exclusive livery at the end of the championship. And it looks like Larry is slowly backing off a little bit from Sunshine. Sunshine was telling me early on before the race that he might struggle under pressure from Larry, because if he's going to push, he might get risky, especially coming down the hill. Coming down the hill is a big no-no zone and can be a huge upset. If Sunshine goes into that wall and Larry gets caught up in it, that's a safety car. And if that happens, this could be a whole upset. It could allow the Eros catch up who's Typical's had a good race so far, other than a little incident early on. He's held pretty good pace. And Ultra Prime to get back in the battle for the lead here. It's still a very long race as we're about to round up lap number 4, going to lap number 5 at 25. And Larry's going to get a little loose there and is losing a bit of time to Sunshine. Sunshine is put on the rocket boosters, going down the hill. Relampago running wide back there, unfortunately. This race has just begun. Ooh, Sunshine getting a little... I thought he was losing time there. I thought he made a mistake. He had not made a mistake. We'll see if that Yellow Lotus is able to put it back on pole here. A great race so far from these two. Pago's still not out of the question. He's still 3 seconds behind Larry. He can still contest for this position, but it's not an immediate battle. We'll watch the times and the gaps of the battle lead as we hop on with Eros. Eros put it on for 3rd position in qualifying. Has dropped down to 4th. Is not too far behind. We'll see if they're able to make up any room on Relampago here. This is a very, very high skill difference in track. There's people who will be very quick. Who, you know, the difference in skill on certain tracks is a lot larger. Like, you can be really close to somebody on certain tracks, but other tracks, that gap widens significantly. Arrow's still putting on a good show here. If they're able to secure a 4th position in their first race here, that's a pretty good finish and a pretty good amount of points that you can rack up early on. Larry looks to have a run on Sunshine. Let's hop back on board. Coming down here, drops 5/10. That gap was a second at the bottom of the hill, now has gone down to 5/10. So they're coming back around the first few corners. Now going back up the hill. This tricky left-hander bit. Kind of just send the car in and then floor it on the way out, and the car just floats around. Up the hill. These little bumps are real fun to hit. So here the car is redlining. Bouncing off the red limiter as they get that little bit of air. Now here's the fast left-hander. Is Larry going to keep it in within half a second here as they're rounding out the lap? Larry seems to be a lot more confident down the hill than Sunshine is. And here we go. Here's that pressure Sunshine may have been talking about. So we're coming back up the hill one more time to go back down the hill to round out the lap. Up the fast sweeping left-hander. Larry seems to be backing off slightly. Not significantly, but still. From that 4/10 we saw a few minutes ago, 7/10 is a bit of a gap, and he's going to lose a little bit on the exit here. It's real easy to mess up that exit. If you don't get it perfect, you don't get a lot of time. And look at that! Sunshine may have made a mistake. Larry's back on! 0.6 seconds. Split him now, 0.7 back up. It's really close. And down the hill they go. Who's going to get the better run? Looks like they might be even, but who's going to get the better run out of the final corner? Ooh, Larry's going to get a little squirrely, unfortunately. It looks like Sunshine actually got the better run. We'll have to keep an eye on this gap because they're really close. Larry's got to be putting everything he can into this little Lotus. These little cars are very fun to drive. You can throw them around really easily. They're also really easy to crash. So on qualifying, you push it a little too hard, it's going to snap on you, and you're going to end up in the wall. On board Typical Racer. Typical Racer's first race here with NBR. This is kind of an unfair showing for your first race to have Larry and Sunshine to race against, because they are very fast. They are wicked fast. Looks like we got our first car to get lapped. Ultra Prime lapped by Eros. They got lapped in the pits. We're watching the gap in the bottom left here to Larry and Sunshine. If it starts to dart down, we'll hop on. Gonna welcome all these new drivers to NBR. Welcome to Neon Blur Racing. We're very happy to have you here. See that gap fluctuating a little bit in the bottom left. Typical's actually got a real good handle on this car. A little bit of scratches on the side, but you know, if you're not hitting the walls a little bit, are you really pushing the car? You can see that gap coming down in the top. Battle for the top two, and look at this. Larry is getting onto the bumper of Sunshine here. Lap 8 out of 25. A lot can still happen. So we can see a small note of these cars is that you can actually see the feet of the driver sticking out of the bottom. It's an interesting design from Forza. Coming down out of the fast sweeping left-hander into another fast sweeping left-hander. This one's a little bit slower and it's more about exit speed. It's really easy to push it a little too early, gun it, and get into the grass on the exit there, as it's a very long sweeping corner. You got to get the exit right or else you're going to have no pace coming up the hill here. Another sweeping corner. It's very hard to pass at Maple Valley. You got to basically rely on the car ahead of you making a mistake, or you having significantly more pace. Because there's no hard braking zones. The hardest braking zone's probably into turn 1. And even then it's not that hard. So we're coming down the hill once more, rounding out lap number 8. Ooh, Sunshine getting a little bit of tire smoke there. Larry also getting a little bit of tire smoke. Looks like Larry might have the run here. It's not going to be enough to get past, but he's going to catch up a little bit. Ooh, tried setting it on the inside there. Was not close enough. And look how close Larry is to Sunshine. Larry v Sunshine race. Ooh, a typical racer and Ultra Prime are battling it out. No, oh wait, never mind. Not battling it out, sorry. It's lapping him. I apologize. They could still be having some fun back there. As we see that yellow plane in the background, Larry's car actually matches the plane for the Maple Valley track. Larry backing off once more, but still, that is pressure on Sunshine. Oh, Larry getting a little squirrely coming down the hill there. Larry seemed to have kept it. Sunshine also seemed to have made a little bit of a mistake up there because he didn't gain much time. Oh, Larry getting really squirrely. Whole-on drift down that final corner. I'm surprised he was able to hold that at all. Incredible driving. Turn 1, Sunshine with a bit of a lockup. Larry's going to run a little bit wide, but he might be trying to widen his exit speed. It's a little difficult to do here. Significant movement yet. On board with Relampago, who's holding a pretty steady third right now. Got about 10 seconds to the leaders and a good gap to fourth, so he can, I wouldn't say safely say that he's secured this position. Any damage? Does not. We'll have to see how pits play into effect here, because cars are not going to be able to make this entire race on fuel, it seems like. Keep an eye on the gaps to the lead, too, in the bottom left as we watch Relampago. Really good drive so far. Sometimes uncontested drives are the worst drives because they're just boring. But you gotta still think, if you finish this race, you're scoring third place points for not having to battle it out too hard. So it's a win-win. For a six race championship, third place points are going to be huge. Like Larry's backed off over a second gap now between Larry and Sunshine. Seems to be coming down. A single mistake can mean a win or a loss, and it looks like Larry has a run. Look at that gap coming down in the bottom left there. You can see that time. 0.6.5. If it comes down anymore, we'll hop on board Larry. Board with Eros. really love the livery. It's a classic livery for the Lotus team. Sorry, I'm being quiet, just admiring the wonderful sound of these Lotuses. They sound wonderful. Looks like there's a little dust tornado starting up there in the gravel patch. I don't know if you saw that. Hop on board with our leader overall so far. Led almost every lap of the race, and they're getting into lap traffic, and oh, there goes Ultra Prime into the wall! Oh, man, that was a hard hit. We'll have to check on that car. Is he damaged? He is heavily damaged, but he's not going to be able to pit, and Relampago almost getting... Excuse me. Relampago almost getting collected in that. Larry almost got collected in that. That was scary. He's going to have to limp it around the track. If he gets lapped while he's trying to limp it around, he's going to have to retire, unfortunately. He was just at that pit entrance. He may have been able to sneak it in without having to go backwards. That's really unfortunate for Ultra Prime. Well, Larry's actually been in a... That was a bad place for Larry to be. Just unfortunate. Larry's going to be a little bit farther back now. He's having to slow down for the lapped car. It's not anyone's fault. It's just a bad place to catch a lapped car. If he could have caught him in the straight, that would have been way better. Ooh, he's slowing down also. Does he have damage? I didn't think so. He's just losing it a little bit. He's got 30% fuel, which means our leaders are going to have to be pitting very shortly. Now here is where strategy might come into play. We'll hop on board with our leader, LL Mr. Sunshine, who's led almost every lap of this race. Yeah, some side swipes. I'm wondering if he's gotten into that wall at all. And he dives into the pits. Larry stays out. That is a very scary pit lane to enter on this track. You have to hit it just right, and if you don't, you end up in the pit wall. Which, you're at the pit entrance, so it's not going to kill you, but it's going to kill time is the issue. I'll see if Relampago's going to get past. He can still push to lap 17. Wow. That's a lot of fuel. Relampago's going to take second now in the pit cycle so far. We'll see if Mr. Sunshine's able to pass Relampago. Ultra Prime diving into the pits after that unfortunate incident at the bottom of the hill. Happens to the best of us. Trust me, I've done it too. I've done it in league races. Arrow's holding a very respectful fourth right now. No drama to be had. Now we're going to have to see if Sunshine is able to get the undercut. Hop on with Larry. This could be the strategic time. We'll see if Relampago is also going to keep going. Relampago might be able to pull some strategic pit strategy while staying out. Sunshine is going to have the faster pit stop, a significantly faster pit stop than Larry actually, because Larry was qualified fourth and Sunshine qualified first. That's how it works in Forza 7, is that the qualifying order will dictate how fast your pit stop is, and Larry B the G has the fastest lap of the session. So is that a 34 I saw? Goodness gracious. Oh, Larry getting squirrely there, a little bit of a drift. Beautiful drift at that. Hop on with LL Mr. Oh, and Larry's staying out. Larry's staying out another lap. We'll see how long Larry stays out here, because here's the real strategy. Is he going to be able to pull away enough? Now, Sunshine, if he's able to pull enough gaps, Sunshine might get held up by Relampago. Unless Relampago pits. Relampago now holding second place. And apparently, Mr. Sunshine's pit stop could have been a little early, because these cars can go to 17 to 18 laps on fuel. We'll see what kind of strategy play he's trying to make here. The grid's really spread out. So we see Larry B the G's coming up on lap traffic. On typical racer, we'll see how that plays out. A good bit away. It might be a lap or two away. We'll have to see how that plays out. Still, Larry could be in contestants for first position here, depending on how this pit strategy plays out. Usually the undercut is a lot more powerful in Forza, but we've seen the overcut work. Let's see. We'll just have to find out and see. I believe if Larry pits now, he'd come out behind. I'm not exactly sure how long Maple Valley's pits are. We'll have to see. He doesn't seem to be exactly pulling away from Sunshine's time. If that's his plan, he's going to have to stay out for a good bit of laps. He might have to push the fuel as far as it will go. We'll actually go check out his fuel. He's got 17% and those tires are starting to get a little worn. Down the hill here. Is he going to pit? He can stay out, I can tell. He can probably go another lap. It looks like he's going a little bit slower, and he's diving into the pits. Wow, that was scary. Larry's in the pits. Now we'll have to hop on board with Sunshine to see if he's able to make this undercut work. He's got a good bit of track to go. Larry stopped in the pits. And then Pago dives into the pits as well. Here we go, down the hill, and Larry's coming out of the pits. That's a long pit stall, and Sunshine is barreling down the hill at full speed. Is he going to be able to get Larry out of the pits? It's going to be close. It's going to be really close. It's going to be neck and neck. Is Larry going to be able to get out? And Larry's accelerating now, I'd assume. Oh my goodness, it's going to be so close. And Larry's going to be on the inside. He's going to have to keep the inside that whole way around. And Larry is going to be just out of reach. What a close pit. But Larry is right there. But Larry's going to be on cold tires. He's going to struggle a little bit through this section. Half a second, though. That was really close. Sunshine was just barely about to lose that undercut. That was a great strategy from both of them. Great drive from both of them. As we're on lap 15 out of 25. And it looks like Eros is in the pits. If typical racer is going to pit here or he's going to stay out. Typical stays out. Curious if they pitted earlier. Oh, they got 9%. They're pushing their fuel to the end, to the limit. You can see they're catching up to Eros here as Eros exits the pits. We might have a little battle here for a lap. We'll keep an eye on this as we watch the battle on the map in the bottom left. Typical is not lapped here. They can actually battle it out. However, Typical is on a lot lower fuel and a lot older tires. Those tires they're not technically going to give out yet. We'll see if Typical is able to keep on the back of Arrows here. Going up here to the bridge. It's the fast sweeping left-hander. They're very close on pace, they look. Typical might be a little slower through this section, losing a 10th there. So it looks like Typical's going to push his fuel to the very end until he gets every last drop, basically, to lap 17. Apparently you can go to lap 18 on fuel. Ooh, Typical getting a little loose there. Looks like Arrows is getting a wide entry there. One look at that. Our leaders. Larry's dropped off 2 seconds. I'm curious if there's a mistake, and Arrows is going to make a mistake. And look, Typical, even though they're not really racing for position there, because Typical's going to have to dive into the pits here. Typical's going to get a little loose. Typical gets really loose. Oh, big wreck. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to switch. Big wreck. I believe that might be both of them involved. Typical's damaged, and we'll see if Arrows is damaged. No, Arrows got out of there scot-free, surprisingly. Wow. That was nearly a safety car incident. Oh, and here we go. We have some drama. We have lapped cars, and Larry looked to have been going off back there. Did Larry crash? I think Larry did crash. Sunshine's going to get past. Did Larry take damage? Wow, this is so dramatic. A lot is happening right here. Larry is damaged. Big damage to Larry's car, unfortunately. Because there's 2 damaged cars on track. This is going to get messy as lapped cars are going by. Blue flags are waving, but that doesn't mean that there's not a slow car on track. This is getting a little chaotic. You're staying green. It's still 1 car, both separate instances. We have 2 damaged cars on track. Different reasons. Now Larry's going to drop back significantly from this. Typical has sustained a good bit more damage than Larry did, unfortunately. Ultra Prime there as well. Has Ultra Prime got any damage? This is very chaotic. There's so many lapped cars right here. Luckily, everyone's coming through as clean as they can with the amount of damage that they've sustained. Luckily, these cars are not very high aero cars, so if you damage your bumper or wings, you're not going to lose all your grip. And Ultra Prime getting a little loose there. Oh, it looked like he may have gone 90 degrees there and come back on the track. Luckily, kept it clean. Or with Ultra Prime. What a lap that was. A whole bunch of chaos and a whole bunch of upsets. So who all is damaged? It's Typical and Larry. Now this actually is a good news. Ooh, Typical stopped on track. I believe Typical might be retiring due to the damage sustained. I believe they can continue, but they are stopped on track. This could bring out a safety car depending on why they're stopped there. That's not a good spot to be stopped. We'll have to see what our race director has to say about this. Is there any reason for them to be stopped? Oh, and that is a retirement, I believe. Yes, they retired. Alright. Unfortunately, our first retirement. Oh, he's out of fuel! He missed the pits. Oh, that's right. That's really unfortunate for Typical. William Pago taking 2nd place from Larry B. the G now. Now, as Eros... I wonder... Eros is a good bit away from Larry, but... Let's see how this plays out. Mr. Sunshine leading. What a turn of events. Very unfortunate. Typical ran out of fuel there after getting into that incident. It looked like he was trying to slow it down to put it on the apex to get into the pits, but was unable to. Huge upset. Arrow letting by Mr. Sunshine there after making a pretty big mistake. Hop on board with Willem Pago, who's now in 2nd place. Been running his own race. We'll have to see if Larry's able to catch back up to him. Willem Pago is trying to get by Ultra Prime here. Pago has pit. Larry is down a pit cycle now. Ooh. Whoa, that was close. Ultra Prime should be, okay, never mind, he did back off. I was about to say, he should be giving up that position there, as that is a blue flag scenario. Ooh, Larry is catching up big time. Watch the times at the bottom left there. I think Larry is about 2 seconds faster than Relampago. Now, I don't think Larry's going to be able to get Sunshine back unless Sunshine has an incident, which is very well possible with a slow car on track. Oh, it's also prime. Okay. I thought it was a damaged car. About 2 seconds faster than Relampago, so I'll have to see how this plays out. We are running out of laps, though, for Larry to be able to pull something off. He's going to have to be pushing as hard as he did. Unfortunately, as hard as he did in qualifying, that means taking risks. He can't really afford risks right now. See how this goes. Down to 5 drivers for the first race. I love the backfires of these Lotuses. They're wonderful. And Larry the G is in the pits again! Oh no! No, Larry's not in the pits! He wrecks it at the bottom of the hill! Oh no, that is a terrible spot to wreck. He's gonna have to drive it all the way around the track with a heavily damaged car. Now here's something we gotta watch, is Arrow's gonna be able to catch up to Larry now that Larry is damaged once more and has to pit once more. He was pushing it too hard, probably trying to catch up to Relampago, and put himself in a worse position by doing that, unfortunately. Keep an eye on Arrows. Arrows has got very consistent pace so far. See if Arrows is able to catch Larry. This lap still held by Larry the G with a 36.2. I was wrong, it wasn't a 34. I don't know where I saw a 34, but anywho. 5 laps to go. Larry's limping that car all the way back around the track. And Sunshine dives into the pits. Interesting choice. I'm wondering if Sunshine's trying to level the playing field, or he took damage, but Relampago is going to take the lead of the race. Relampago leads for the first time in NBR. For his first race here, is he going to be able to hold it is the question, as Sunshine's not going to be far behind. He's going to have 4 laps left. Did Sunshine do that out of solidarity for Larry? We'll have to find out. I'm not sure Arrows is going to be able to catch up enough time to catch up to Larry. Again, Larry didn't have much engine damage. He had a lot of other damage to suspension, steering, brakes, which you can kind of compensate with to an extent. The real-time killer is usually your engine. Once your engine gets broken, which is kind of hard to do in these cars, unless you really, if you get hit in the rear, I guess it's possible. But Sunshine into the, Larry into the pits, and I don't think Arrows is going to be close enough to make a pass, but he's going to be a lot closer. If Larry damages it in the next coming laps, there's very good chance that he's able to catch him. Sunshine on the attack now of Relampago. Relampago leads the race at Maple Valley. Relampago's been pretty hands-off. He's been uncontested for a lot of this race. Hasn't had much drama. And look at where he's got him. That's got him into first place here. Sunshine trying to run him down. 13 seconds is a lot to do in 4 laps as Relampago's about to start lap 22 of 25 coming up here. Down the hill they go into the fast left-hander. Is Relampago going to keep it clean? He does. Excellent. Oh, Sunshine is catching up quick with a 12.8. Yep, Arrows was not able to catch Larry. I was expecting Larry to be limping around a little bit slower. Larry's got a whole minute to catch up Sunshine. I don't think that's going to be possible, unfortunately. We'll hop on board with Sunshine. 22 out of 25 laps to go. Is Sunshine going to be able to catch up to Relampago? Is he going to lose that possible win that he had early on in the race? Anything can happen. It's still a very technical track. Somebody could wreck it. There could be a safety car. There can be a safety car at any point in a race at NBR. Last lap, there could be a safety car. It looks like there's a car in the pits. We'll have to see who that is. Ultra Prime back into the pits. 2 cars are damaged. It's very, very unlikely that 2 cars are going to be damaged here. How far they are apart. However, whoops, didn't mean to do that. However, Arrows is being caught up by Relampago. If there's an incident here, there could be a safety car. And at this point, a safety car is going to be to the end. There's not going to be enough time to get the whole grid. So if there's a safety car here called, that's going to be the end of the race, basically. They're going to be under safety car until the race ends. Wonderful drive from everyone here. Very unfortunate events from Typical running out of fuel, unfortunately. Hope to see them next week, though. They had a really good drive. Relampago catching up to lap traffic very shortly. 11 seconds split him and Sunshine. Sunshine is bringing down that gap, but is it going to be enough? With the Relampago's going to get really squirrely. That's going to lose Relampago time. That might just be what Sunshine needs. That's going to be a huge time loss. Not like a massive one, but it's going to cost a few tenths. Possibly? Maybe not. Yeah, there we go. There's the time finally updating. It cost a whole second there, that little squirrely bit. I'm surprised he caught it. It's really hard to catch a slide in this car. Or if you overcorrect, the car will grip up in the front and just throw you around really easily. Because this car is a lot of mechanical grip. It's not really aero grip. There is a lot of aero on the car to keep it stable. But a lot of the grip comes from mechanical, from the tires. At higher speeds, it's true, it's aero. But again, it's you gotta keep it's a small wheelbase, so the balance of the car can be disturbed really easily if you mess it up. 9 seconds split Relampago and Sunshine as we're rounding out the end of this race. We're about to start the penultimate lap in a few seconds here. Catch Relampago catching 2 lapped cars. Anything can happen towards the end here. We're getting a little traffic down the hill. This could get messy. Oh, Relampago getting a little twitchy there, some sim twitch, but is able to catch it. Very good driving. I know they're a little bit, and Ultra Prime's in the wall at the bottom of the hill. I believe that is not going to be a safety car unless Sunshine gets into Ultra Prime. And it looks like he got through cleanly. That was some scary action there. Hop back on board with Relampago. 8 seconds to Relampago and Sunshine. It looks like Relampago may have made a mistake over there. He's lost another second. As we're on the penultimate lap, 24 out of 25. That gap is coming down very quick between Relampago and Sunshine, but it's not going to be enough. Relampago looks to be pretty secure in his position here. We're about to start the final lap of the race at the first race of the RFA Race for ALS Charity Championship. What a turn of events. We had a lot of good racing, and here we go down the hill. Is he going to be able to lap the car before we get into the sketchy bit of the track? Looks like he's not. He's just going to slot in behind. That's a good idea. Don't try and contest it down here. He might lose a little bit of time, but oh, Relampago got a little bit twitchy. He's going to run a little bit wide. He's going to hit the wall. He's going to hit the wall. Is he going to take damage? Oh, he's going to slow down so much. Does not take damage. He took a little transmission damage, but that might be cosmetic. And here we go. Sunshine's on the run. Let's hop onto the board of Sunshine. We're on the last lap. This could be all or nothing here. Is Relampago going to be able to hold off Sunshine on the final lap? I was just talking about how dramatic this has been, even though for a little grid. A minute point 3. No, not a minute. 1.4 second split Relampago and Sunshine now. Relampago's got to be pushing. There's not much track left for Sunshine to do this, so Sunshine's going to have to push as hard as he can. Relampago might be able to secure his first win at NBR here at Maple Valley. Relampago is pushing hard now. That gap is actually gaining a little bit as Sunshine made a little bit of a mistake. It's kind of going back and forth. It's kind of stagnant, though, as he's coming back up to lap traffic here. Depending on where he catches his lapped car, it could be very, very detrimental to the race. 0.3, 1.2, Sunshine catching him on this sweeping right-hander up the hill very quickly, within a second now. I don't think he's going to be close enough, but we're going to have to see if Relampago bins it at the bottom of the hill. This is the last chance Sunshine has. He's catching rapidly within half a second now as he's about to come down the hill. Sunshine get a little twitchy. This is where it matters. Is he going to have the run? He doesn't look like he's going to be able to catch him down the hill. Is Relampago going to be able to keep it down the hill? Here we go. Relampago's got a little bit of tire smoke. Sunshine got a little bit of tire smoke as well. But Relampago keeps it. And Relampago wins at Maple Valley. Sunshine right behind. What a dramatic finish from the two of them. What a great race. As we hop back on with Larry B. the G, who's in third place now. Larry B the G, unfortunate race. Bringing it home for third position. Could have had a chance at second. Still, third position, not bad. Yeah, from qualifying, you can tell how somebody's going to do in a race if they're going to be a possible wreck, get into wrecks and whatnot on how they do in qualifying. Larry did not seem to have a good handle on the car on this track. Like, he's fast, but he didn't seem very consistent, unfortunately. Just those little mistakes. And Larry's going to come back to finish, rounding out the podium for third place. We hop on with Eros. Looks to be securing a good fourth place finish here. Congrats to Relampago. He had looked to have third for a long time. He looked like he was just going to finish in third. Secure in his own world, and look at that. Huge turn of events. He finishes first. We still have some racing left to go. Eros rounding out these laps to finish fourth. I don't think... Was Eros lapped? Let's see here. Eros finishes fourth, and last but not least, Ultra Prime, who has been lapped a few times, I believe. So I have to stay on board with that. We'll get post-race interviews getting started shortly after we read the final race results. Oh, goodness gracious, Ultra Prime into the wall there, unfortunately. What a race from everyone. That was an impressive feat. Alright, our provisional results for race number 1 of the Race for ALS Charity Championship. Number 1, Relampago, with coming in clutch with a first position finish. What a great race from Relampago. Oh, he just held it in there to the end, kept driving consistently. Great performance. Mr. Sunshine in second place. We had a great pace, incredible pace as a matter of fact. Almost had that race in his hands, but just lost it towards the end. I'm not exactly sure. We'll ask in the interview. And third place, Larry B the G. Unfortunate turn of events. Could have had a second place finish or better, but ended up crashing a few times. Still a good race. In fourth place, Eros, uncontested basically the whole race. A great performance. Fifth, Ultra Prime, respect for finishing, and finishing with a unfortunate DNF. Unfortunately, typical racer, ran out of fuel. Hopefully we'll see them back next week. Stay tuned for post-race interviews. I'll be inviting everybody who has wanted to. So, get that started. Sunshine. What a close race. You almost had the win there. What happened towards the end there that caused you to have to pit again?
I just took a curb bunny going underneath the bridge and made Sean White proud by doing like a 1582 spin. It included multiple wall taps.
Oh.
Yeah, just a little bit of unsettling on a weird line. But it is what
Still
it
a
is.
second place finish. Not too bad.
I think Relampago hit the wall on the second to last lap because I wasn't going to catch him, and then I closed all the way up to with 1.5 seconds. So I think he smacked something too. But I don't know if he got damaged or just had to like save the car because he drove the rest of the lap perfectly fine.
He was coming out of the final corner and actually went wide and started wall riding at the bottom of the hill. Luckily, he didn't take damage, which I found incredible for how hard he hit it. But yeah, he kept it out until very end. I'm surprised you weren't able to get him right at the end, but that was a close finish, close race. You and Larry had some good battles early on.
Yeah,
But
no, it was pretty close. Larry was keeping with me, and I think both of us weren't too trusting of our cars, like in both corners. So it was kind of like a
mhm.
high risk, high reward. Definitely had a not so pog moment when we went too wide into the last corner. I was like, I'm gonna stick it here, but I don't know if we're gonna live through this. So no, it was a good fight, but ultimately, I think the race win just kind of came down to who was able to keep their car on track in the critical portions of the race.
Yeah, great to have you back with another race at NBR. Hope to see you next week.
Absolutely.
Congrats on the finish. Larry, what a incredible performance early on there. Unfortunately, it got away from you. What happened during the middle of the race?
Yeah, that was just a tough one. This is just one of those tracks where you just have to be like 100% concentration the whole way through. Because it's just like you always have another corner coming up. Like I just remember like lap 11, I went to check my telemetry and all of a sudden I lost a second because like I just stopped thinking about where to go, you know? So it's like, and then yeah, I crashed in the final corner twice just because like just lapse in concentration.
Mhm. It's a really rough track, especially with faster cars.
Yeah.
How'd you feel in the car overall? Because it looked like you're struggling a little bit in qualifying.
Yeah, that definitely set the scene. That was definitely one of those like, yeah, this is gonna be one of those races, isn't it? But I felt, I mean, I felt better about my setup than it may have looked in qualifying. But again, it's just one of those tough tracks where it's like the car's always unsettled. You're always throwing it through fast corners. You don't have exactly the downforce to get through them with, and yeah,
Well, hey, congrats! Still a third place finish is nothing to be sad about. That's still good points for the overall championship. Congrats on your finish. Hope to see you again next week.
thank you.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Hope to see you both around.
Yeah, thanks for hosting, Quinn.
Where was I? That was race number 1 of the Race for ALS Charity Championship. Thank you all for coming tonight. We have a few upcoming events to make note about if you're in the loop for Neon Blur Racing. First coming up race is the Friday Gauntlet, hosted by none other than Oliver. It's in the DPIs at... Check what the next race is. Sorry, I don't have the whole calendar in my head. Next race is at Silverstone Grand Prix Circuit at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Standard Time. Saturday, next week, is next round of the last tour, which is a good farewell tour to Forza Motorsport 7, going through all the previous Forza Motorsport title cars. Next week will be with the Ferrari at Monza. Next race for this championship will be the same time next Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Upcoming races at the end of the month to be on the lookout for is the multi-class endurance championship finale. I guess we're still figuring that out. Maybe the finale may not be at Road Atlanta with a NASCAR twist. Also, thank you for Ultra Prime and Typical Racer for the follows. Appreciate it. Alright, I'm Gabriel Woodward, and I'm signing out. Thank you all for watching.